Okay, we're recording. Good
All
morning,
right.
Dean
Thank you, everybody.
Pearson from Systems Engineering. How the heck are you this morning?
Good morning, Kay. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful Wednesday here in North Carolina. It's sun is shining and it's only about 65 degrees is my kind of weather. So I'm very, very happy.
Same here. Well, welcome to the Greenwood Association of Realtors. It's Wednesday, September 16th. It's about 11:15 in the morning. And we're here talking about ADA compliant websites. And we're going to record a portion of the discussion so that we can post it for those people who can't join us today. So I've started the recording if you want to just talk to us.
Terrific. Let me just go ahead first by introducing myself again. I'm Dean Pearson. I'm the National Sales Manager with Navica, with Systems Engineering Incorporated, who's the company who does Navica for you folks. The one thing I do need for you guys to understand, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a federal employee. What the information I'm giving you is the information that I've found from my own research and from our experience as a website company here in Navica. I mean, we are an internet-based company. Our product is internet-based. Everything we have is based through websites. So this compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act is something that we have to be on top of all the time, and you folks should probably be aware of this as well. So let's kind of just give the history. I think most of you are aware of what the Americans with Disabilities Act is. It's what requires restaurants to have ramps instead of stairs. Any building over a certain height has to have an elevator to accommodate folks who have disabilities. For folks who have visual disabilities, public signs have Braille on them, and when you go to the airport, all the direction signs in the restroom signs, everything have Braille so that people can, blind people can read these signs. So this is what ADA is. The way it applies to websites is that there are tools that folks with disabilities utilize to read websites. For instance, blind people can have a website spoken to them. If your website is not set up in such a way that these what they call accessibility programs cannot work with it, that's one way that you can be out of compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. So the best place for information about ADA is the DOJ.gov. The Department of Justice administers the Americans with Disabilities Act. If you go to their website, there's all kinds of information about how you can be compliant with the American Disabilities Act. Now, if there's anybody with insomnia, I highly recommend downloading all that information and keeping it on your bedstand as nighttime reading material, because it is a lot of really boring legal garbage. What I'm going to attempt to do is shrink that down for you today, make it a little easier for a realtor who operates a website on how you as a realtor, or how you as a real estate company, or in the case of Kay here, the association itself can make sure that you are not in danger of being sued by somebody for offering a public commercial website that is not ADA compliant. Now, here's the big thing. What the heck does ADA compliant mean? It's a moving target, and it always has been. There are all kinds of things that can make you either compliant or non-compliant. Well, the big number one thing is if your website is is readable by accessibility tools. And I can tell you, if you've built a website through another program, or if you've had someone build a website for you, this is not something you have to worry about. This is something that is so embedded in HTML code now that it's not even much of a problem. You would have to have a website that was basically text-based, that you created ages and ages ago yourself using raw HTML code to even be able to botch this. The real trick is in things like text size and color contrast and alt text, something they call alt text. And alt text is text that, like, for instance, if you put up a picture of your office, if it's an office website, you go to your main screen and the very first photo I see is a picture of your office. The alt text for that office for that picture should read photo of such and such office or such and such office. That way, a person who is sight impaired comes to the website, their reader will tell them there is a photo on the screen of the office. That kind of thing sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, but there's ways to check, and we'll get into that shortly too. Color contrast can be an issue. One thing that we do with our Navica websites, not just the websites that you folks see, for instance, www.seisystems.com or navicamls.net or usamls.net or navicaamsstreamline.com. These are all the public-facing websites that we have out there to advertise and talk about our company and what we do. All of those websites are checked regularly for ADA compliance. And all of those websites are in compliance with the current ADA regulations and stipulations. And we know that because, again, we are constantly checking it. And there are ways for you to check too. And again, I'll be providing those in just a little bit. On our public websites, we offer public websites. I'm sure most of you know that you can purchase a realtor or a real estate company website through Navica. All of our templates, themes, layouts, everything, they've all been run through the ADA compliance tool, and they are all ADA compliant. However, when you purchase a website from Navica, as soon as we turn it over to you, we are no longer guaranteeing its ADA compliance, because as soon as you change one thing, may just be your phone number, maybe the color of the background of the menu items, it may be this you changed some text on the main page. As soon as you change anything on the website, it is time to go run that ADA compliance tool again, because everything you do to your website has the possibility of taking you slightly out of sync with the ADA rules and regulations. I'll give you a good example. For those of you who are not familiar with HTML coding and how websites are built and how things work on the internet in the HTML code has a number related or that is equal to color. Color, a computer system doesn't know, give me mint green or give me baby blue. On color, the internet knows 471625 is this particular shade of green. 92134 is, let's see, I guess there's 6 digits, 92314. That would be something in the black to brown range. The thing is that those numbers, those number codes are how the ADA looks for problems with contrast. Again, I can give you an example on one of our Navica websites. We ran a system check against it, and it came back and said, nope, your color contrast is wrong, and it's not ADA compliant, and here's why. And we went in and checked it. It was off by a single number. In other words, it was 481251 instead of 481250. Now, folks, there is no one, I can almost guarantee you, no one in the world who could, with their eyes, see the visual difference between this green and this green. This one was out of compliance. This one was in compliance, but because of one little digit in the code. How do we overcome this? So there's only one way to make sure that your website is ADA compliant, and that is to utilize a tool and have it look. Now, there are free tools. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to email a list of websites. There's 3 websites in particular. I've already emailed that to Kay. She'll be sure to post it with this video so that you have it with the video. If it can't be posted with the video, I'm sure you can get it from Kay if you just reach out to her via email. But it's going to have 3 websites on it. The first one is called Wave, W-A-V-E. And if you want to write it down, it's wave.webaim.org. And again, I'm going to email this to you guys so you'll have a hard copy. But Wave is, again, W-A-V-E, wave like on an ocean, .webaim, W-E-B-A-I-M, no space, .org. And what that's going to do, hey, look at you. There you go. All right. Can you see that I'm not sure if you folks can see that on the screen, but Wave is a free ADA compliance tool. and so is Lighthouse. Lighthouse has a much longer URL. I won't try to read that over the video here, but if you can see it on your screen, again, Lighthouse. Now, these are two free ones. They don't cost you anything, but the problem is that these will only look at one page at a time. There are, of course, a pay-per-use set of tools that will evaluate your entire website. And there are some services that will evaluate your website on a regular basis. There are some tools that even come with little certifications you can put on your website. A lot of those can be found at the World Web Consortium website, which is www.w3.org. Yep, right down there at the bottom. There's a whole list of products and services related to ADA website compliance on that website. Many of them are for fee. So I want to make sure that you have some free options, being Wave and Lighthouse. Wave and Lighthouse are both free, but remember, that only checks one page at a time. So when you utilize it, you have to make sure you go through every single page of your website. These other ones, the 4 fee ones, they're like web crawlers. They'll get into your website and they'll check all of those pages for you and give you comprehensive reports on what you may need to do in order to bring your website back into compliance. Why is this important? Folks, this is a litigious society. We all know this, especially in the real estate game. I mean, my goodness, you can see my hair is a little salt and pepper. I've been around long enough to remember back in the day when this was about the size of a listing contract, 10, 15 pages, tops. I mean, last time we took out a mortgage, I mean, the stack of paperwork was that big. We live in a litigious society. If someone feels like they can suck a few dollars out of you by suing you for your website not being ADA compliant, they're going to do that. What we want to do is give you all the tools at our disposal to help you not get caught in that situation. So my best recommendation is, again, whether you use the free service or the for-fee service, at least run some checks against your website to make sure your homepage and the pages that are visited most often are ADA compliant. Because let's face it, most of the folks that are out there trying to sue you for stuff like this, what they're actually doing is they're just going to run your homepage. And if your homepage is ADA compliant, they're going to pretty much assume the rest of your website is. So that is not legal advice. My advice to you would be to purchase and pay for one of these services that checks your entire website. But again, Wave is free, Lighthouse is free, and they both work very well on a page-by-page basis. I highly recommend that every single realtor who has a website, and most especially every single broker who has an office website, at a bare minimum, download either Wave or Lighthouse and check your website against those tools. I would also recommend that you find a service at, again, the World Wide Web Consortium's website, the www.w3.org, and find a good tool there for regular checks, just to cover yourself. Think about it as an insurance policy. You're going to pay a little bit per month to make sure that there's not a huge expense, i.e. lawsuit, at the end. So that's my little spiel on ADA compliance, folks. Remember that, again, the Americans with Disabilities Act has been around for a long time. The Department of Justice decides how it's implemented. So you've got a moving target. And the only way to really make sure that your website is in compliance is to check it every so often, whether you do that manually through a free service or automatically on a pay service. I highly recommend you do it. It's just one less thing to worry about, one less lawsuit to worry about in a very litigious society and in a very litigious industry. If you have any questions about ADA, again, I would direct you to the DOJ website, the ADA compliance part of the Department of Justice's website. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If I can answer them, I will. I may not be able to, but I can be reached at dean@navicamls.net. But your best resource, of course, for legal advice would be your own attorney. I'm not an attorney. I am not a professional with the Department of Justice. I'm a sales guy with Navica. So if you want legal advice, talk to a lawyer. But in the meantime, definitely at least try to take some of the small steps. Check out your site, download Wave or Lighthouse, and see if there's maybe something. If there may be something there that you can just really easily correct and move on with life. I hope this has been a good informational session. I hope everybody enjoys, and I look forward to hearing from any and all of you if you have any questions.
Hey, thanks, Dean. We appreciate you being here, providing all this great information. One kind of question came to mind as I was listening to the information that you had. Don't just assume that because you've got one of the big national website providers that they're going to do this for you automatically. Right. You've got to take control of your own data.
Exactly. Unless you purchased a website and they specifically told you we are going to use blah, blah, blah tool to ensure that you are in ADA compliance, assume you're not, because that's the only assumption that is the only way, proper assumption to make in that case.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Thanks again for being here today.